Greetings, friends. This is Elizabeth Shermer with an intuitive reading for the Grids of Light on Saturday, November 12th. Today's reading is in anticipation of Monday's new full moon, which occurs at 5:52 a.m. Pacific time on Monday, November 14th. And this is a Taurus full moon with the sun in Scorpio. And before I dive into the reading for this month's full moon, it's really important to acknowledge first the intensity of this past week, and what I'm hoping in the context of this reading to create a context for you and some tools for you that can help you connect with the natural frequencies of this lunar cycle so that you can fully show up to the larger opportunities, as well as navigating the challenges, however you're experiencing them. So because of this having been such a challenging week, I am starting with the Tower to acknowledge for those of you who experienced unexpected change or unexpected upheaval and are also experiencing the larger psychic upheaval of the culture and the distress in the world right now, at least for those of us who live in the States. Why I want to show the Tower is just to remind us of the teachings about change from the larger perspective. The Eye of Horus at the top of the Tower reminds us that in the middle of things being dismantled, in the middle of things falling apart, in the middle of disruption, even feelings of chaos, there's always a larger picture. There's always a larger perspective. It's just that from where we're standing, we may not see the big picture. And to always just remember on a deep level, we have to trust in the power of love and the power of good and the will to good to always propel us forward. And as soon as we can, to get our feet back underneath us so that we can connect again with those frequencies of inner trust so that we can come back into the natural momentum that is always carrying us forward. So starting with that acknowledgement for all of us, my intentions for today are to really help us connect with potentials that will support each of us in moving forward and also being of service. So before I talk about the full moon, I want to say a little bit about the energies of the month, the lunar month that started 2 weeks ago. And the first card to the left, the Death card, is in reference to Scorpio. Death is related to Scorpio in the sense of the deeper teachings of this card, which are the potential for metamorphosis when we connect with our deep emotional strength and will and power. So the painting here is of Osiris dancing on the bottom of the ocean. And the significant aspect of this, related especially to this month's new moon and the overall energy signature of the month, is the quality of deep, deep, deep inner strength beneath the surface. Strength and understanding and trust beneath the surface. And that's mirrored literally in the Queen of Cups, which is a card that represents the Sabian symbol for the new moon, which was a still lake bathed in moonlight. And this is a reference, again, to the significance and importance of the signature of deep calm and trust and wisdom that lies beneath the surface. So know that there, even on the surface of disruption and chaos, which may seem, and which is on the surface of things to be intense, there's an underlying strength and wisdom and calm to which you can absolutely connect if you're able to move within and take your attention away from external disruptions. So knowing this overall signature, I'm bringing it forward because it's important, again, at the full moon to know that we're starting from this foundation of an understanding of the importance of connecting with inner calm and inner trust, and that it's available to us right now. So knowing that, I'm going to say a little bit about the signature of the full moon in Taurus. The Hierophant is the tarot card that represents Taurus. And the aspect that is important for us today is, and actually for me personally, it's super inspiring because the Hierophant teaches us about stepping into our power in alignment with light and with the wisdom of the earth and coming from love. It's the aspect of Taurus that connects us to the energies of the earth, to the wisdom of the earth, to the wisdom of our bodies. And on a deeper spiritual level, this is a card that teaches us about what it means to be a human being. And we really need that right now in the world. We really need beings of light to commit to, in practical ways, to being human and being in our hearts and showing up in our hearts. And so there couldn't be right now a more healing energy of the full moon than an energy aligned with Mother Earth and aligned with spiritual riches that lie within, which this card helps us remember. And so know that above all else, that's the energy that you can connect with for this moon, is a deep connection to the wisdom and strength of our Mother Earth and the healing that lies within, and our ability to connect with that healing and with the richness and the beauty and the depth of what we then can bring forward, both in our own lives and into the world. On practical levels, this card is called the Healer Teacher card, and it means that each of us has those capacities when we connect within and remember the truth of who we are. So, knowing this general auspice for the full moon, we'll talk now about the special spread that I pulled. And so in pulling this spread, knowing all of these potentials and that the month of Scorpio is always intense on an emotional level because it's helping us connect on a deeper level with our inner power. And the Taurus moon always has these opportunities. This month especially, we are asking for support, for healing, for ourselves and for our human family. So the card all the way to the left in the position of circumstances is the Sun. Interestingly, in this astrology chart, for the full moon, the Sun holds a really prominent position. And it is emphasized as much as the moon this month. And the Sun is signifying both the specific quality of connecting. The location in the astrology chart speaks to grounding us into the riches of inner earth and the wisdom of Mother Gaia. It's also signifying here when we connect within and move in to find our trust and our inner calm, we will have access to new understandings and new insights and new awarenesses to the meaning of things. The meaning of things right now is not on the surface. The meaning of things lies within. And there's immense creativity and optimism available when you're able to move within. And to signify that in this spread, the card actually came up reversed. And so the reversal in this case can signify an obstacle or a blockage to awareness and consciousness, and that is if you look to external circumstances to find the meaning. However, the reversal also says move within, drop within, and the light will be there, and the new awareness and new understanding will absolutely be there. I personally received such strong affirmation when I was working with this spread before bringing it forward for you in the video. So that's really the key message of the chart and now of the spread. And now here's some additional encouragement. In the position of awareness or mind, the Ace of Discs is signifying from this place within the awareness that new forms are being born. Aces always represent a new potential, energy that's being brought forward. It's not manifest yet in physical form, but it's the awareness of the coming of new form and new creations. And so we're being called to hold that vision and hold the trust and hold the mastery in our hearts of deep love that will contribute to the creation of new realities, new potentials, and new forms. And to the right in the position of spirit, a double affirmation of the birth of new form is the Princess of Discs. So those of you who work with Hermetic Kabbalah may know that the Princess of Discs is, in terms of Tree of Life, known as the most powerful card in the deck, because the entire deck and the entire Tree of Life moves through her and comes into the world. And this is signified by the octahedron diamond at the end of her staff, which is bringing all the light of infinite potential directly into the earth to give birth to new forms. As with the Ace of Discs, which is referenced here, this princess is pregnant, indicating that the new forms are gestating now, and she is representing your capacity now to hold absolute confidence and trust in the life that in your potential to contribute to love and new forms and healing for yourself and for your family, for your community, and for the world. The final card, I always pull a fourth card, is like an exclamation point to this spread, because it's the Magician. And so the Magician is aligned with all four aces and is a final affirmation that there is indeed a new potential, a new birth being born from the dismantling and from the wake-up call that everyone has had from polarization and this awareness of our country being literally split in half, divided, in terms of what moving forward, it represents an opportunity for everyone to wake up to moving forward in new ways and different ways, and to claim what has been opened up as a huge opportunity. So in holding space for the full moon and for moving forward over the next couple of weeks, especially realize that this spread with the Magician and the Ace and the Princess is talking about holding the awareness of new potential. And don't be attached to circumstances yet, because what's being born is still beneath the surface and is really immense and amazing. So around when, excuse me, when I was meditating before sharing the video, the Magician spoke to me, and let me just drop in and reconnect with that message for you. Here are the qualities that the gift of the Magician is for you, and it's reflected in these other cards today as well. Connect with optimism, with your confidence of mastery, and your trust in the universe, and your trust in momentum, being able to hold the momentum of love that carries us forward into the birth of good for all, and in the optimism of new potential. And then also, Magician in practical ways is associated with communication. So a practical piece of advice I got for myself and for all of us in terms of holding this field of optimism is to be super mindful of your words, your language, both spoken and internal as well. Language to yourself and language that you speak. Speak the truth of what we are creating, what you are placing your intentions toward, and shy away from stories of what has been if it's anything that's limiting the opportunities for good. My favorite definition of love is the first primal will to good. It's the force that sustains us and creates us, and to which we contribute whenever we align with love. So I am really happy to be able to bring this message forward, and I also benefited from the reading today, and so I also, on a personal level, appreciate the opportunity to receive these messages just as you do. I am wishing you a blessed full moon. Celebrate the beauty of life, and let's amplify that and receive the gift of love of our Mother Earth from the light of this full moon, and then share that optimism and trust and compassion in your world. And know that this next 2 weeks of birth beneath the surface, holding space beneath the surface of things, will germinate into new birth in 2 weeks with the Sagittarius new moon. So I look forward to connecting again. And in the meantime, happy full moon. And thanks for sharing the work. This is Elizabeth Shermer with an intuitive reading for the Grids of Light.